Hello, and welcome back to the Skift Travel Spotlight, the future of tourism in Saudi Arabia. I'm here at ITB Berlin with Boon Sian Chai, Managing Director and Vice President of International Markets at Trip.com Group. We're discussing how travel brands are innovating the traveler journey to create more meaningful, personalized experiences. I'm speaking with Boon Sian Chai, Managing Director and Vice President of International Markets at Trip.com. It's great to have you here on the podcast.
It's my honor to be here too, Kate.
So here we're talking about the traveler experience and how that has been innovated upon and shifted over the past couple of years. But I want to start first with just traveler expectations. Sure. How are you seeing those shift around the overall journey? And are there any kind of new and bold ideas that you're seeing out there that are meeting this shifting demand?
Sure. Thank you, Kate, for the question. And it's a question that we're constantly asking ourselves because the consumer behavior has been really evolving all these years. So something that we put a lot of attention to. So in terms of expectations of the travelers and the consumers, there are a few points that I think we look at. First of all, consumers now are looking for personalized experience, something very personal to them. Second, they want to experience. So the experiential part is also key. And third, I think they are looking for inspirational contents, right? So through these three, personalization, experiential, as well as inspirational contents, what Trip.com is doing, we are actually launching a few key things that we've seen successes over the years. One of them is what we call content generating, user-generated content, whereby we actually allow users to actually create, share, as well as talk about different experiences they have online on our Trip.com platform. And what we call them is trip moments, where basically there's a lot of sharing and talking and discussion about different experiences. So that's one thing we did in terms of the ideas. The other thing that we did is really about live streaming. So, during the COVID period, because many of the borders were closed, so our chairman had a very inspiring idea to say, why don't I lead by example and go on live streaming where I will dress up in different costumes, in different destinations and different locations, and really try to promote the destinations through me leading by example. That really made a hit in mainland China. So over the last few years during the COVID, when he did this live streaming, we actually saw over $1 billion worth of GMV being generated. The number of views is also in over 1 billion. And because of such a success, when the borders opened from mainland China to the rest of the world, we started to also feature international destinations like Hong Kong, Japan, Korea, Thailand, and it has also taken off pretty well. So I think that's the second area that I think are interesting and something very different from how traditional travelers used to book travel. And the third one is tied into the point about experiences. Gone are the days where people would just go to a hotel and stay in the room and that's it. What they would want to do is to experience the city, experience the property, experience what the hotel has to offer. So what we do is we actually have this product called Hotel Plus X product, where we basically bundle hotel rooms plus things like spa sessions, exhibitions, concert tickets, tours, to turn the hotel experience into something that the hotel feels proud about. Because if you speak to any hotelier, what they will tell you is, for us, our focus is always on customer service and experiences for the customer. So when you do this, it actually is a win-win-win. It's a win for us because we are able to cater to our hoteliers as well as to our customers. It's a win to the hoteliers because they are able to drive higher ADR with the Hotel Plus X product. And it's a win for the customers because they are looking for experiences and personalization.
Absolutely. And it sounds like a simple concept, just putting experience at the heart of travel, but It actually is complicated. There's so many pieces that go into it. And one of them is certainly technology. So I want to talk a little bit about innovations on that front, artificial intelligence, smart design, travel tech. How are these impacting the travel journey today?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question because we are a technology company. So we're really looking at how we can leverage technology to help travelers on a few fronts. First, making their travel experience more personalized, making their travel booking more efficient, and definitely making sure that the entire experience is engaging. So on our side, we have rolled out this tool or this AI-enabled tool called Trip Genie, which is to help our travelers with both the planning as well as the booking process itself. So Trip Genie is a AI-powered travel assistant whereby basically we integrate the Trip.com app to provide a tailored travel planning that adapts to the user's unique experience. And imagine, for example, today I'm now in Berlin, and Trip Genie can instantly curate a customized itinerary, offer me hand-picked activities like going to the Brandenburg gates, for example, booking options, maps, including bringing me to the transaction part. So basically, not just giving me options, but also making sure that I actually complete the travel experience through a transaction and payment. So it's an entire end-to-end process itself. This AI assistant, I think we've seen huge numbers since we rolled out last year. So for example, if we look at the user engagement on the Trip Genie itself, generally someone using Trip Genie versus someone not using Trip Genie, we see an additional 20 minutes spent for users who are using Trip Genie. That's one. The other thing is that we are seeing better conversion rates. So users that are using Trip Genie itself, we have seen double the conversion rate versus users that are not using Trip Genie itself. Another very interesting and new app that we've just rolled out is still very, very new off the shelf is our Trip Vision app itself. Our Trip Vision app is integrated with the Trip Vision Pro app. I'm sure everybody have heard about the Trip Vision Pro, where you see amazing visuals of different destinations or different things that you see on the goggles itself. Mm-hmm. So what we have done is we are pioneering a new engagement method using Trip Vision, whereby basically, if I give you a specific example, imagine you're looking at, let's say, the Northern Lights in Iceland. So the Apple Vision Pro will show you the Northern Lights, but what we will do is we will put in additional information like, how often does the Northern Lights come on a let's say yearly basis or a monthly basis, right? In order to get to the Northern Lights, what is your travel booking path can be? For example, if you want to go from Singapore to Iceland to see the Northern Lights, what are some of the travel options that you have? If you want to visit the Northern Lights itself, what other activities can you have within that area where you are going to see the Northern Lights? So we give information, content, and data to help the customer not just visualize the Northern Lights through the Apple Vision Pro app, but really able to actually make transactions on the app itself. It's still very preliminary. We are still continue to innovate and enhance the app itself, but that's the vision, to be able to actually integrate our Trip.com app with the Apple Vision Pro itself. So these are things that we think is going to help our travelers make very much more informed decisions when they book travel.
And what great examples of using how travel brands can use these technologies to create something that's more personalized, that's more immersive,
sure.
And just really elevate that experience.
Yes.
So just shifting gears, as I understand it, Trip.com has several partnerships to support tourism in Saudi Arabia. It ranges from marketing to distribution. How are these partnerships helping transform the visitor experience in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, we are very excited because, as you mentioned, we have just signed a substantial cooperation agreement with the Saudi Tourism Authority, following up from our MOU with them last year. This collaboration is a multifaceted effort whereby we are going to help Saudi Arabia boost their tourism, leveraging Trip.com's extensive network of resources and technology. So one of the things that we are looking at is basically featuring Saudi Arabia through a global marketing campaign across multiple source market, like the likes of mainland China, Australia, China, Germany, Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, Singapore, South Korea, UK, and among others. So, any markets that Trip.com is present in, we want to be able to feature Saudi Arabia as a destination to bring customers into these markets and introduce to them. So that's one thing. The other thing that we are also helping to boost the local hospitality players. So integral into this strategy is really helping the local hospitality players as well as the tour operators itself. So we are really committed to enriching the supply chain, helping DMCs, for example, hotels, to bring in customers. And the goal is to expand the array of indigenous products that we have available to travelers, thereby enriching the experience itself. The other area that we're also focusing on with the Saudi Tourism Board is content development. As I mentioned, we have trip moments. We have a lot of ideas and efforts and technology in user-generated contents. So we are able to help them integrate 100,000 pieces of Arabic content onto our site so that we can actually better serve the Arabian-speaking customers itself. So these are some of the areas that we are actually going to work on in terms of collaborating with the Saudi Tourism Board. Last but not least, I think the collaboration is not just within Trip.com itself. It actually covers our entire Trip.com group, the likes of Skyscanner, the likes of Travix, the likes of Make My Trip. So multiple brands will actually be able to actually work together to help the Saudi Tourism Board really bring about many customers from across our platform itself. So these are the few things that we are working on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about kind of how the partnership came to be and why it's important to Trip.com. We hear some travel brands have lingering concerns about the safety of either visiting or investing in Saudi Arabia. And as you mentioned, we're at ITB Berlin. You just signed a big expansion of your partnership. So yeah, kind of why is this partnership important?
I think, mainland China and Trip.com is really very friendly to the world. We believe that travel makes the world go round. Everybody lives to travel. So I think it's very important that, we work with Tourism Board because we want to bring people together. The more we bring people further away, the more we bring people together. That's really a motto that my CEO always stands for. And Saudi Tourism Board have been very supportive and really wants to work with us. And we are also reciprocating in the similar way.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time and being with us here on the podcast.
Thank you, Kate. It's my pleasure.
This has been an episode of Skift Travel Spotlight, the future of tourism in Saudi Arabia, brought to you in partnership with the Saudi Tourism Authority. To learn more, head to visitsaudi.com. Thanks for listening.